something going where you're doing a little competition with the Tuttles.
Well, I think it's something that came up early on in like 2002, 2003 in the middle of Monster Garage. There wanted to be a challenge between, because those guys obviously, are kind of whiffing their own fumes because they're on TV. And, we're the best in the world. And, I'm pretty cocky about my motorcycle building abilities. And I think I'm the best or one of the best. And I challenged him then. I said, hey, let's do $1 million.
I remember that.
Winner take all. And Junior originally agreed to it. But I think the network stepped in and wouldn't let it happen.
Yeah.
And so, about 6 or 8 months ago, the president of Discovery flew to my house in Texas.
Really?
And spent 2 days with me. And we had a phone conversation. He's the guy that greenlit Monster Garage. He's like, what are you doing? Where's your head at? How do you feel? And I'm like, I've top 10'd every off-road race I've raced this year. I feel good. I'm just being a dad. So he flew down and then he said, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. Let's do a build-off like in Vegas, like prize fight style. And he's all, you know what? Let's do it. And then we just put it together and then, kind of going back and forth. And then I signed a new deal with Discovery to be, back on the network. So,
wow.
So not only am I doing the thing with the Tuttles, I'm like back at my home where I belong in Discovery. And man, it feels so good.
Yeah?
It's just,
What are you going to do different this time? That's what I want to know.
As good as Monster Garage and those other shows I did, my skill level is 100 times better. So I can't really give nothing away about it.
I know.
You know
it's
me
all
because
secret, but that's all
well,
right.
hey, there's 33 different copies of Monster Garage on TV. There's a show right now on cable that just takes the exact same Monster Garage builds and then has 2 teams build them. So I'm flattered at that, but it also makes me not free flow with my TV ideas. I just needed to make a decision. I shut the shop down by my own doing. I didn't want employees in this big old. I already did it. I read a quote by someone that says, once a man accomplishes what he sets out to do, he needs to move on. And it was time, How much bigger can I make a custom motorcycle shop? With TV, I'm a single dad.
Refreshing, right?
I live at home with my 3 kids. I have, kind of the most amazing garage at home.
I'm sure. I'll bet it helps, yeah.
I'm probably the only home shop that has a 300-ton forging press.
I mean, a lot has happened in your life. A lot has happened. America, the Inquiring Minds. Any regrets? I mean, did you make mistakes along the way that you're like, I wish I would have done this different or that different?
I think we'll always live with some kind of regret and sorrow of like my last marriage, which just caused a lot of pain and stuff for people. And I just stood there like a man and took it all on the chin. Hey, I made a mistake and I admitted it and owned up to it. I didn't hide from any of it, and at the end of the day, I just had to realize that hey, why am I in that position? Why am I trying to be in that world that's so, wants to persecute me? Because it doesn't matter what I say, I'll always be wrong. And so it just led me to hey, I need to do an about face and march right back to the people like this here at SEMA that made me who I am and respect me for, they're not into my personal life.
Let me tell you what happened to me. I had a business early on in life and it just turned into a nasty disaster. And my local town wanted to do a story on me when they saw me on Regis and Kelly, right? And the story headline was, his failures are what led to his success, right? Because I learned from those mistakes, and to err is human and to forgive is divine. And he who is without sin cast the first stone, right? I mean, this is what we are here to learn about life's lessons. And if you've learned from your mistakes and you're a better man for it, and you have a chance to redeem yourself, and that's what life is about.
And I think you're right, because I started I didn't work anymore. I didn't make anything. It all became about Walmart and business and selling T-shirts and all this stuff, this tornado of everything but putting my gloves and my welding helmet on and making stuff every day.
You used to always say, I just want to weld.
I sold, in the last 8 years, I sold $500 million at retail at Walmart.
Oh. How many bikes have you made in the last 8 years?
I've built 450 bikes in the last 10 years.
Wow.
And
you personally?
Well,
or you
made
and your
a lot of parts on most of them, and probably double that in gas tanks and fenders, and it just you know, I think in light of everything that happened, it made me realize that I'm working 5 miles from where I was born. My circle of life is so small. And like, I needed to get to a place, you know, now my shop's up on the crest of this hill and I can see a waterfall and a stream and like, and it's green and it's just, it's like epic, you know, and it's like, I'm so thankful every day that now by making changes, you know, hey, you know, my circumstances sucked. And where I was trying to work and what I was trying to do sucked. So you know what? I changed it. I packed my tools and my kids up and I moved to Texas. And, you know, and for 6 months I was kind of lost. You know, I wrote a book and like, I didn't know what to do. And then finally, you know, about 6 or 8 months ago, I just started working, planted myself in my shop. I started making a gate for my house. And then I sold a bike to a player from the New York Giants. It's like, I started feeling like a sense of purpose again. My creativity started coming back, and now I'm just like, now I'm building a bike against these guys, you know, on the East Coast, and now I'm just throttled down. Today is my first day off in 6 weeks. And look at my hands are all cut and bleeding.
You know what? I was mad at you for a little while, but I thought to myself, who am I to be mad? I don't know what's going on. And my friends would call me and say, what's going on with your friend Jesse? Just because me and you had a few little things we did together, right? And I go, you know what? Dude, you need to forgive this dude. I need to forgive him. He's not perfect. Are you perfect? So truthfully, I think when you get back on TV and people see your heart and that you have your family intact, you're raising your children by yourself, which is very honorable. Thank God you didn't break up your family. I'll be the first one to tell you, I forgive you, man. You're still my friend. And I want to watch you grow again and learn and grow from your mistakes. Anybody else here willing to do that with me, huh? He's a new guy. Really. Welcome back to the real world, my brother. You are my friend. There you go.
Thanks,
Continue to be friends.
Yep. You're going to come to Mexico, watch me race the Baja 1000?
Anywhere you want me, man.
I'm starting from the pole in 2 weeks.
All right. Well, we're going to be watching. I'll tell the world about whatever successes you have, man. All right, everybody. Jesse James spending a few minutes with us. Motor Trend Radio.